the great, well-known writer of British Empire in India. Since 1901, the Nobel Prize for Literature has been awarded to 120 writers from all around the world. Some of the earliest have long been forgotten, but a few of them are still read today. So the 1907 winner was Rudyard Kipling, who you might claim that Rudyard Kipling was the first Indian Nobel Prize winner, since he was born in Mumbai, then Bombay, and made his early career as a writer in the Anglo-Indian community of the British Raj. Yet Kipling is remembered and made his career really as a writer and a poet of empire, even if he had some, deep affection for the India in which he grew up. His fiction is well known, such as the Jungle Book's Kim, and many of these have been made into highly successful films. He is perhaps one of the best known of the early Nobel winners, if not the best known. His poetry includes the era-defining The White Man's Burden and the more personal If, which in offering advice from a father to a son really transcends time. Kipling was and remains the youngest winner of the prize at 41, and in honouring him, it was the first time the Nobel Committee honoured an English language British writer. And it was perhaps symbolic that the first British writer should be a writer of empire, because in 1907 the British Empire controlled an astonishing roughly quarter of the world's land and a quarter of the world's population. And empire was the subject of his controversial, ambiguous, but iconic poem, White Man's Burden. This poem has been interpreted in many different ways. Indeed, in 1899, in the US Senate, the poem was read out loud as part of a debate as to whether the United States should take control of the former Spanish colonies, Philippines, and establish its open colonial empire of its own. Kipling, was one of several nationalist poets and writers who were honoured in the early years of the Nobel Prize for Literature. As we'll see, by 1913, perhaps there was a growing disenchantment with that nationalism and those empires. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at all your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. The White Man's Burden, 1899, the United States and the Philippine Islands. Take up the white man's burden, send forth the best ye breed, go bind your sons to exile, to serve your captives' need, to wait in heavy harness on fluttered folk and wild, your new caught sullen peoples, half devil and half child. Take up the white man's burden, in patience to abide, to veil the threat of terror and check the show of pride. By open speech and simple, and 100 times made plain, to seek another's profit and work another's gain. Take up the white man's burden, the savage wars of peace, fill full the mouth of famine, and bid the sickness cease. And when your goal is nearest the end for others sought, watch sloth and heathen folly bring all your hopes to naught. Take up the white man's burden, no tawdry rule of kings, but toil of serf and sweeper, the tale of common things. The ports ye shall not enter, the roads ye shall not tread. Go make them with your living, and mark them with your dead. Take up the white man's burden, and reap his old reward, the blame of those ye better, the hate of those ye guard, the cry of hosts ye humour, slowly toward the light. Why brought ye us from bondage, our loved Egyptian night? Take up the white man's burden, ye dare not stoop to less, nor call too loud on freedom, to cloak your weariness. By all ye cry or whisper, by all ye leave or do, the silent sullen peoples shall weigh your gods and you. Take up the white man's burden, have done with childish days, the lightly proffered laurel, the easy, ungrudged praise, comes now to search your manhood through all the thankless years, cold-edged with dear-bought wisdom, the judgment of your peers.